Curiosity kills judgment. It's really as simple as that. But I'll keep talking to give it more clarity. I used to look around and think that everybody was kind of an asshole. And really, it's because I was. I thought I was. I didn't know that at the time. But you can't really project a judgment like that outward if it's not in here first. So if you're angry at someone else, it's because you're angry. If you judge someone else for being rude or mean, you are probably rude or mean. Otherwise, it wouldn't bother you. So, and let me clarify, because I have some people in my life that I have boundaries that I do not talk to, and it's not because I'm it's not because I'm judging them. It's because I generally I don't have. So you can look at someone and lovingly make a choice for what's best for you. Like if someone's abusive and they're going to hit me, like I'm obviously not going to distance myself because I'm judging them because I'm also abusive. That's not what I'm saying. So there is a way to look at someone and decide that this isn't safe, this isn't working, I'm going to make some choices. But then if you go away and judge that person, it's like, oh, they're evil, they're abusive, that's only going to hurt you. And if you don't have it in you, that's going to create it in you as you judge that person. Anyway, back to a more simple approach. Generally, when we look out and judge, and not in a healthy way like I just described, you have to make judgments like I'm going to stop at a stop sign. That's a judgment. But if you are in a way that's demeaning, looking down on, feeling better than that kind of judgment, I think you get what I'm trying to say. If you are able to do that to anyone at all, you are also doing it to yourself. And you might not even notice. Now, going through this process for me, it brought all of this stuff to the surface. So now I saw what I was doing. I can see what I'm doing in the present moment. But wow, it gave clarity to the past that was uncomfortable. But now I'm able to just openly talk about it because I'm not judging myself. Now, what killed the judgment was curiosity. It's that simple. So say you have an emotion. Somebody makes you angry. As for me, I was brought up in a belief system that anger wasn't really well-rounded. It wasn't talked about. It wasn't talked about how to deal with it. It was just kind of assumed like, oh, we shouldn't be angry, you know. So if I got angry, I would judge myself. And this is all, everything that I'm about to explain, I did not know I was doing it until I started becoming aware, and it took a long time to notice. So I'd get angry, I would judge myself for being angry, and then I would go through this whole mental process. And it would never help the anger. It made me worse. So one day, after listening to a lot of people, after counseling for a while, after talking to people that were more accepting of themselves, not knowing that, it kind of dawned on me that maybe I should stop doing that. So the next time I got angry, I got curious about it instead of judging. I asked myself, why does that make me angry? Why does that bother me? And that was the beginning of shadow work. That got real uncomfortable because you start seeing why things bother you, why you're getting angry, and start realizing it has nothing to do with the person. Because now I'm at a place where if somebody is very mean or cruel to my face, I'm not going to get angry. Because Because love and curiosity are now my default. I would mostly just wonder, like, wow, what are they so angry about? Because I know it's not me. It's coming out of them. And I figured this out because I did it to myself first. I found out I was not ever angry at anyone else. I was just angry. I was an angry person. And what was causing it most of the time was judgment. I wasn't allowing my body to feel anger. There's something in the Bible called righteous anger. I honestly have no idea what that means, but it sounds cool. There's like a differentiation between righteous, like being angry in a good way and being angry in a not good way. Or like healthy and unhealthy is a better word. So it's perfectly fine to be angry. But I was judging it, shortcutting it, and not letting myself feel it. So then what happens is it gets stuffed and not dealt with, not felt. The energy gets trapped in my body. And anything in the future that comes up that's close to or maybe similar to the thing that made me angry, now that that energy's trapped in there, it wants to come out. It's like, oh, we remember this. Let's get angry. And then I stuff it down more, and I'm like, no, you can't do that. You can't come out. Stay in there. Anger, you're not allowed here. What happens is that energy, as it gets stuffed, it expands. It gets more and more and more and more. Now, curiosity allows it to be, allows it to come out in healthy ways, allows your body to feel it, and it moves through and it goes in. It's fine. Judgment stuffs it, keeps it there. Am I rambling? What's my point? There is no emotion, even if it's completely outrageous or over the top or inappropriate for this situation, which happened to me a lot with anger. I stuffed it so long that when it did come out, it was too much for the situation. It didn't make sense. It became obvious that like there was something going on inside of me that was not reflective of the amount of anger that should have came out for what happened. Yeah, emotion is not a problem. The problem is stuffing it. Now, there are other ways to stuff it. It might not be judgment, but this was part of my process. I would have an emotion, I would judge it, it wouldn't move through me, it would get stuck. Now, I did that for 30 plus years. So, as you can imagine, there was a lot in there. When I started getting curious, it opened the floodgates. Because it's like the intelligence of the body knew, hey, he's going to let us out. This is our time. Now, when that happened, there's no nice way for that to happen. It caused a lot of problems. It was messy, it was ugly, it was raw, it was uncomfortable. I couldn't control myself in some situations that I should have I as an adult. But it had to happen. I don't know if there's any other way. I had to blow up on myself and my own life. It was bad. So much anger was coming out. This has contributed to my divorce, honestly. A lot of anger. And sadness. And then finally, when all the anger came out, I realized that anger is a secondary emotion. I mean, it's not, I knew that, but I didn't know it was underneath. So anger is usually covering fear or sadness, or if it's pure, it's a perceived injustice. So if you view something as, hey, that's not fair, that shouldn't have happened, you're going to get angry. That's normal. For me, mine wasn't that. That's pretty common, but mine was covering sadness. I was extremely sad at some things that happened in my life and broken, and I didn't want to feel that. So if anybody asked about it, pushed on it, if it came up, I would just get so mad. And I would rage, and I would just, not rage, I didn't get enrageous. But it felt so intense. Now, when all the anger finally, because I was curious, asking, hey, what is this? You're allowed to be here. I want to know what you're trying to tell me. Like, these are questions I'm literally asking myself, sometimes out loud. That allowed the anger to come out. It wasn't pretty. There's no pretty way to do this stuff. What we're talking about here, like, you see me at this peaceful, awakened state, and it's great. But getting here was the ugliest, hellish process I've ever gone through in my life. So that's what I'm talking about. Because I know that's what's going to help people. The raw, unfiltered shit part of this. All the anger came out underneath but that wasn't even the hard part. It was hard for everyone else probably because I was just angry all the time. But then when the truth underneath the anger started coming up, ooh, man, that was stuff I hid from childhood, stuff I did not want to look at. Stuff that happened to me when I was 8, 9 years old. And now I'm in my late 30s. And what are you gonna do? Once the anger's gone, I had to feel the sadness. And I wasn't good at crying. I hadn't cried for 10 or 20 years. I was not a crier. I was not somebody who could cry. I couldn't even allow myself alone, not around anyone. It was so hard. The only thing that got tears to come out of my eyes was a touching piece of music. To this day, one of my favorites is an American Idol, Got Talent, one of those auditions. Who I Am by Win Starks. Look it up. It's absolutely phenomenal. God, he's good. I've watched it 100 times. I'll watch it 100 more. I'll cry every time. So yeah, that was the only thing that could get me to cry. But once all the anger was out, I realized tears were going to happen. It was inevitable. So the anger made its way out. That took a couple of years. It was not pretty for anybody. And then the sadness started coming up, but I didn't know what to do with it. I was not trained in this. I wasn't emotionally healthy. I didn't have parents that taught me this stuff. So I knew I needed to cry, but I didn't know how. So I would listen to music sometimes to try to kind of get it flowing, and it was sort of helping, but it wasn't. And then a few times, I had 1 or 2 times where I did have a moment where it came up and it hit me, and I just, man, ugly cry, snot, tears, all the good stuff. But even after a few of those big ones, I didn't know how to like keep it going or to let it out in a healthy way. Because I had so much stuff that when it came out, it was explosive. It was huge. It was intense. It felt like I was going to die. Now, if something is sad or I have a thought or I listen to a piece of music, the tears just flow and then I just go back to what I'm doing. It's just so natural and it's not over the top. It's balanced. But I stuffed stuff for so long that it was really over the top when it came out. Oh, but again, not judging it, being curious about it is what let it come out. Asking myself questions, loving myself enough to let it happen. And there was a long time where I generally didn't have good feelings. Every time I checked into myself, how am I feeling? How am I feeling? It was always one of the big, bad, ugly ones. Kind of angry, kind of stiff, kind of hard in my body, kind of shut down, sad, bland, nothing. Not depressed, but not happy, just stuck in the middle. And I just had to keep being curious about these emotions. I had to keep asking myself, why are you feeling this way? What's happened? What do you think, Self-inquiry is a practice that helped me a lot. It's just asking yourself questions and being okay, letting the real answer come up. So many people are scared of their dark stuff. It's not that scary. It feels scary, but it's not. Everybody has crazy dark thoughts of like randomly swerving their car off the road or just punching your coworker in the face, like, or even darker, like really gross or like lustful or murderous stuff. Like most people have those crazy thoughts pop up in their head. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it doesn't mean anything about you. That's where I got stuck. I would be so scared of my own thoughts. And I would judge them. And then they would go to that shadow place and they would stay there to come up later in inappropriate ways. Curiosity killed it. That's a good video title. Curiosity killed the ego, not the cat. Getting curious is maybe the best thing you're going to do for yourself. It will lead you it led me from self-hatred to self-love. Maybe just that one thing. Like I did a couple things, not a lot. But that was the most beneficial. Every time I caught myself judging myself or trying to stuff or trying to explain away or invalidate an emotion, I would stop and get curious about it. And the truth is underneath the curiosity, not the judgment. The curiosity will bring up your shadow so you can deal with it. And when all that shit's dealt with, you start getting happier. You start changing. You start viewing everything differently because what's changing and what's being viewed differently is you, yourself, your inside. And there's no difference in inside and outside. The way you view the world is the way you view yourself. You're just viewing the external world how you view yourself. So if you see a dark, dangerous world, you are seeing a dark, dangerous self. Just look at it. Let it be okay. And it will transmute. And then everything you see externally will change. It's a really good gauge on what you're doing inside. Just ask yourself how you see the world. Do you think everybody's angry and out to get you? That's because you're angry and out to get you. Like, just use it as a mirror. This is a bit of a ramble, but my main point is curiosity. Curiosity will really take you as far as you need to go. It got me here. And the process isn't pretty, and that's perfectly fine. The spiritual path is not a paved walkway with nice rhododendrons on the side. It's often a shit show. And sometimes really ugly. But it's not that way always. It doesn't stay that way. You will feel like you're getting worse. And that's good. It won't feel good. You just have to have faith when you get to that place. Or listen to someone like me who's been through it and can tell you genuinely, honestly, it doesn't stay that way. It is good. That ugly stuff has to come up. If it got stored with pain, it's coming back out with pain. It's just a painful process. Until it isn't. Until you're free of it. Then, all the fun stuff happens. Awakening is just the beginning. Oh, all your shit disappears and then you can look and think, wow, what can I create? What can I do today? What can I how is this going to play out? It becomes like a fun game. All right. That was probably long enough.